We have decimals here. What do you think we're going to do with those decimals?
Add them.
Well, add decimals? No. Remember? Smack them together. One on top of the other. Okay? So let's see how you guys can do this. Excellent. Oh.
Where's the decimal? Where's the decimal?
It's kind of tricky with decimals, isn't it?
Okay, but look at how we write it up here.
Because we're used to shifting the whole numbers all the way to the right, correct? When we had a problem like this, we're used to
Okay, there's nothing over here, so we can put zeros here, right?
we're used to shifting our numbers all the way to the right to add them, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you shift them to the right
No.
when we're doing decimals?
No.
Ooh. So be aware of how you line up.
So rewrite it,
Place
stack it,
values.
stack it. How do we rewrite that? We're more worried about you being able to rewrite it right now. Because if we don't rewrite it correctly, we're going to have a tough time. Bingo.
Stack it to the right though.
Yes.
Can I write it, please? Can I write it?
Here and right there. Oh, does it look like they're on top of each other?
Now look at, you're pretty close, but this should be over a little bit more, and this is on top of the two.
Same thing with Abby. Same thing, the two of you together. So it wasn't 2.46, it was 0.246.
That makes sense.
And 0.2.
Now we can add that.
I think you have your decimal place out of the line.
Going back here.
Can you go up to the board and show me where I had written 2 and 4600s?
So Avery, yeah, you're right.
Now,
Here you have your tens place. Okay, so we have this
Wait, no, I know it. Oh,
blocks.
yes.
That's not the one we're working on. Okay, we're working on that one. Nice job, Chase. Where are the decimals though? At the start of the number, right? You do that. Let's go by and start again. Ready? Ready to go by and start? You go by from me that says your car might work.
oh, you're missing something. What are you missing? That decimal point doesn't magically just disappear.
So,
Oh.
you want the guarantees in math? Write this down.
Jonas, how's it going back here, bud?
It's okay.
Mr. Hank, do you want to see up that? Show that they got the right answer? See where they started?
This is what you did. You have 1.246. You line these up.
You can line it up.
Tens, so we have to line up.
You want a marker? Or you got one? Okay.
Okay.
Probably, but we know this.
Kyle, are you doing it? Someone already doing it. Someone already doing it.
Oh.
Mr. Adamson said that.
Oh.
See, tens only can go with tens.
It's just this phone.
Okay. Yeah, no, we always start from the right side. Nice.
Are you want to put the answer, or do you have somebody else?
Sure. Adriana, you want to come put the answer for us up here? I did half of the job for you. Now you got to finish it off. Okay. Hey, if you're finished, eyes up here. Tyriana, Kendra, eyes up here. Now remember, just like in regular math, if we have like 246 plus 32, we always start on the far right side here and add, right? Good. Bingo. All right, and guys, with this is really important. What was the thing that Mr. Adamson always preached in fractions? They have to speak the same language, right? Now, what place value is this?
2.
No, it's not 2 place value. What's the place value?
10.
Tenths. So, what's going to make sense? It has to be line up and go with the tenths, right? So is this the tenths? Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So tenths can only go on top and below tenths. Tenths can't go above or on top hundredths, can they? No. So what about this? What place value is this one? That 4 in. What place value is the 4 in? What did you say, Chase?
The hundredths.
Hundredths. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
So what do you think is going to go below it? A hundredths, right? Hundredths. Now what's the 6th place value?
Thousands.
Thousandths. So what do you think is going to go underneath the
Thousands.
thousandths? Even though there's nothing here, it's kind of invisible.
It's
Still there. That's still the thousandths. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter. All right. All right, let's give you guys one more here to practice. All right, now we're going to up the ante a little bit. We're going to go a little bit bigger. Okay? All right, so what do? We rewrite this. We rewrite this. Okay? Let's rewrite this one. Nice. Way to have those everyone standing on top of each other. A little crooked, but they should be right on top of each other, right? You're doing great though.
I think, Chase, you have it written down. You have 4 and 34 hundredths. We should have 4 and 32.
Yeah. Yes. No, that's absolutely right. Perfect. Keep going with it.
Is this right?
All right. All right, get out your Grammy, get out your Oscar votes. Here's a little great acting job by these 2 teachers. So here's the way I think of adding decimals. It's kind of like when you're a kid and you're playing hoops and the ball goes rolling across and it goes through the street. Do I run right after it?
No.
What should I do? What's the first thing I should do before I go chasing after my ball?
Stop and look for cars.
Stop and look for cars. I'm going to challenge you that when you add decimals, stop and line them up. Don't rush. Don't rush because you're going to jump out and you're going to make that mistake. So, boom, right away. Line up that decimal point. Okay? Oh, we'll let somebody. Have you been up yet, Kendra? All right, Kendra. Don't rush. Don't rush to make a quick answer. Nice job. So, does that match what's written on the board? Does it say 0.3 up there, or does it say 0.2?
Yeah. All right. What are we missing now? Bingo. There it is.
Jessica, you got it?
Bingo, Kendra. You have this exactly right. Okay, and now look at what Kendra did. She didn't forget. These decimal points have to be lined up. You don't just forget about it. You have to make sure it's in your final answer. It just goes straight down. That arrow is shooting it all the way down to the bottom here. This is the target. That's where it's got to go. That decimal point does not disappear.
Mr. Lynch, you know what? I think it doesn't matter where you start adding. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. So I think I can do 3 and 7/10 plus 5 and 8 82/100. I think I can start right here.
What do you guys think?
Can I start in the ones place?
No.
Why?
I'm going to prove you wrong.
Oh, really?
8. Oh, gosh.
So just
What do you mean? Chase,
Yeah.
you can't. You'll make a bigger number by 8 plus 7. It would be like around 10. Then you have
Okay.
to make.
when I add 7 and 8, 7/10, think of it this way. 7/10 plus 8/10 is 1 and 5/10. So that's why it's so important that you start on the right.
See, think about it even without decimals. How would this look without decimals here? 8 and 2. Okay, we know, because we always start in the ones place. That's how we always start. We start from this way. What's 2 plus nothing?
2.
2. 7 plus 8? 15. So that's where we have to carry. We have to regroup, we call it, right?
Yeah.
And now we can go here? 9. That's what that looks like right there.
Yeah.
Okay, do you see how when Mr. Adams said he got proven wrong by you, Chase? Because he's like, hey, you can't do that. You have to regroup. So that's why it's so important. You don't just start adding wherever you want. You always got to start on the right side.
Fist to 5, how are you feeling about adding whole numbers and decimals? Avery, what do you think, what would you say the most important thing to remember when we add decimals? What was your golden nugget first place prize of adding whole numbers and decimals? What was the most important thing to you? You forgot? That's okay.
Who can help her out?
Abby, what was your, like, when we're adding decimals, what was the most important thing to you? Oh, can you say that louder? To line up the decimals. How many other people in our class had that same magic moment?
Who had that same
You have to
takeaway?
have that. How many people said that? Mr. Adamson, the first thing I have to do is I have to line up those decimal points. If you're not here yet, let's talk about that. How important is it to line up decimal points? Let's talk money. Let's even talk about money. So, Mr. Lencher told me he's going to pay me $4 3/10 for washing his car, and he's going to pay me $25.76 to Mo's lawn. Look what happens if I don't line up my decimal points. He paid me $26.19. Let's see how much he's going to pay me if I do line up my decimal points.
I'm thinking, yeah, man, I got away with one there, Mr. Adamson.
What do you think?
I'm taking my leftovers and going to Subway.
Does the decimal point matter? Does lining up those places matter?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. In this problem, there's a difference of a little bit less than $4. But you'll see, as we move on, it can make an even larger difference. Okay? All right. The second half of our learning goal was subtracting. Was taking a decimal, whole number. All right, talking about money. There's $100 bills on the ceiling. Come on, grab them. You can be out of your desk. Grab them. Oh, and they all fell on the floor without talking. Grab them. They're flying out the window. Quick, grab them. Oh. But your feet have to be in cement. You can move your upper body, but not your lower body. Oh, and now they're leaving out the door. Back to the ceiling. On the floor. And sit down, please. Awesome. So,
Alright, erase your boards. Get ready for this next one.
all right, no decimal points. Well, technically. But who wants to come up? Actually, I'll have you show it on your board. How do we do this?
These put the decimal points, you can put the decimal So, how do we do this?
That's it,
I'm excited. It's a box.
I love car key. Or blocks.
Box.
Okay. So you couldn't do 2 minus 7, right? Is that what you're saying? Or did you do 2 minus 7? You did. Okay.
Oh, no, I didn't. What's this? Yeah, what's that decimal point there for?
How do
Yep.
Wait, what's your other question?
You read it out?
0 becomes a 10.
Did you read it out?
Okay. Well, to make that 2 into a 12, we have to make this 10.
Read it.
You should
Make that 10 into a...
What do you think you're supposed to be doing? Let's go, come on.
How did you make
Write it on
this?
shoulder.
How did you make that?
Yes,
0
the
10?
302 minus 57.
Otherwise, you're telling me 302 minus 57.
We've done this before.
345. Would that make math sense?
302 minus
No, why
57.
not?
Can we take away?
That means you're making up way more.
Can we take 7 away from 2? Can we take 7 away from 2? No, so we have to ungroup our neighbor, but can we ungroup a 0? No, so we have to go to the 3. What does the 3 become? 2. What is the 0? What is the 10?
2 minus 7.
What first does it become? 10, then 9. And then it comes out.
3 becomes 2.
Good, now we can solve it. Awesome, good work. Better. You can't let those decimal points get you confused.
Can I do it?
Oh, look where that decimal point is, Caitlin.
Can I write it?
Caitlin, the decimal points are just over here.
Can I write it?
Julius, how are we doing? Are we done?
How's that possible?
Is this right? I wrote it. You're wrong.
Well, I'm going to challenge both of you that both of you made it here.
Now we can do it.
Okay.
So what's 12 minus 7 is 5. What's 9 minus 5?
Does that make sense? Do you have your place values lined up?
There you go. And then 2 minus nothing.
Mr. Adams, can I have my boxes right? Mr. Adams.
Oh, that was weak.
Okay, sorry,
All right. As we're walking around, we have to remember our subtraction. Nice job. So we always start in the smallest place value, or to the farthest to the right. And in this case, it's the ones place, right?
Kendra?
So we should hear one voice right now, and it's
Yeah.
mine.
Guys.
Okay? You have 2 and you want to take away 7. Good to go? Or get help? Get help. So, any help here?
No.
So we have to move from the tens into the hundreds. So what are we going to do once we get to the hundreds?
Borrow.
We're going to ungroup. So we're going to take away 100. How many hundreds do we have left now?
2.
Okay. It would really be great if I had as many eyeballs in this classroom, all of them looking up here. Like Kieran. Like others. Great job. How many do we have left if we take one away? 2. And what we're doing is we just took 100. Do we see where we got 100 from?
Yep.
300 just became 200. That means we have 100 left over.
Yep.
And we're going to make that 10 tens. Oh, hold on, Adriana. But what do we need to do with that 10 tens? Kendall. What? Yeah, we have 10 tens. What are we going to do now? Because we still need help in that ones place. So we're going to have 9 tens and
then that one goes over.
2 to 7.
And that one goes over there, which then becomes 12.
good, because we're going to take those 10 and move them into the ones place. Now we're ready to subtract.
It's 2.
Hold on. Hold on. Hang tight. Hold. Hang tight. So we have 12. Take away 7 is? 5. 9. Take away 5 is?
4.
And 2. Take away nothing is? 2. So 245. So those exact same skills that we used for whole number subtraction, we have to use that for decimal subtraction. So Kendra, you're going to hold on your marker. Thank you. So we're going to use those same skills. Whenever you don't have enough, you're going to ungroup.
Don't you always want to start with It's dying.
You'll notice I have my decimal points lined up.
And guys, sometimes I think we overthink these decimal points. These decimal points aren't changing the way we subtract. Okay? But it doesn't mean we don't take in very deep consideration of what they mean. But I think we overthink, oh, there's decimal points, I'm going to do something totally different. Really, our subtraction doesn't change that much.
Do you want to just do this for today?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Great. So Mr. Lencher and I determined that I think just talking about adding is going to be our goal for today.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, it's okay. So, today, did we switch from I will to I can? That's a question you have to ask yourself. I don't want an out loud answer. Did you go from I will be able to add whole numbers and decimals to I can? That's you get to kind of judge yourself. How did you do? Tomorrow we're going to pick up the subtraction piece. But the bag got full. The bucket got filled today for many of us. So that we're going to call it quits. But on our homework sheet, we have these handy dandy grid papers, so you can make sure you're doing a great job of lining up those place values. Adonis, do you need something? Okay, you're kind of wandering right now.
Yeah, I told you 5 minutes. If you
So-
stay in here until work time, then I'll let you
Okay, so pop a squat, and let's finish strong.
go. Now, Mr. Adamson, this kind of looks like similar to when you did this.
Correct.
So if I have one of these, what am I supposed to do with this, Mr. Adamson?
Well, what's even better now is we can, so if we have a number like 3,702,000 plus, and even if it's written a goofy way, 1
Julius,
and
Julius,
300. Here's my decimal point. 3.702 plus 1.03. When I go to add these, Mr. Lyncher, I'm going to be nice and organized. Because that really is the key when we're doing math.
Oh, I like how the decimals have their own boxes right on top of each other. That makes it very clear to me that they can't be cross-eyed. They can't be, one can't be over to the right and one can't be over to the left. They have to be on top of each other.
It's kind of a good habit to get into because when all of you get to higher math, that one problem, it's all of a sudden going to take up maybe a half a page in your math notebook or more. So if we don't start organized now, it's going to get a lot more tricky, a lot trickier when you get into higher math.
And guys, you guys can use these. If you need more, I'll go make more. So we're going to start with one, but one for each of you. But then if you need more, just come up and grab some up here. Okay?
On your homework sheet,
On hill.
on the homework side,